Hello. So welcome to our first class. Let me just check on my video. Okay, I think we're good. Let me see. Okay, we're so solid. Ooh, let's get that purple in the back. Okay, so one, I want to say I realized that I'm a little tardy and I had some issues with my camera and my microphone. So it was another chance to surrender to the moment, which we're going to talk about today. I first want to start with introducing you to one of my favorite self-care practices, which is just breathing. So I intend to open up each class with some sort of self-care. It'll probably be as simple as just breathing every time, but I know that this is a really important time for us to practice that. So let's take 8 deep breaths together. Three more. Last one. Okay, by the way, if you're joining us live, hi, I see some people that are live, Jason, Mallory, and some people here on Facebook. Okay, so we're going to talk about surrender. First, let me just put something out there. Peace to all, life to all, love to all. Sending that out to you, and thanks for joining today. Okay, so let's get right into it. We're going to talk about surrender and seeing the opportunity in everything. So let me first start by just sort of lifting the veil to the covering, sort of the umbrella that surrounds this art of surrender. You know, let's just look at our life as simple as it is, okay? The universe started, scientists calculate 3.8 billion years ago, okay? So everything in your life has led up to this moment. That means that 1 million things had to happen for you to meet your soulmate, for you to end up in the house that you're in, for you to meet that grocery clerk that was so nice to you or so mean to you. 1 million things had to happen in order to allow for that specific experience to happen at that specific time in your life and in that other person's life. Okay, so let's just lift the veil and look at it super simple, right? Every single thing is connected. How can we not find a deeper purpose into every little thing that happens when this earth, this universe is so mystical? Like, there are so many answers we still don't have, and there's so much science and faith, right? Like, there's so much out there for us to cling to in a healthy way to help us see how our life is just one big, beautiful culmination of experiences. And sometimes experiences hit our stuff and it doesn't match what we want. Sometimes our experience hits our stuff and it creates trauma. Sometimes our experience hits our stuff and we experience loss or tragedy or grief or sadness or a range of different emotions that are painful. Sometimes our experience hits our stuff and we are in bliss, in la la land, right? Like, we are just so happy. Hey, I see a few people joining. So how can we, again, this is all personal opinion, but how can we be mad at life if life is just taking its course? This is nature at its best. This is God doing the work in our life, right? This is, hey, I realize I can wave to you. Let me wave. Hey, this is cool. I've never done an Instagram live too. Awesome. Hey, J. Brad, I see you. Okay, so how can we be mad at life if life is just continuing to unfold in front of us? You know, this is nature happening. This is nature taking its course. The same way that sometimes it rains and sometimes the sun is out. But guess what? Even when it's a cloudy day, even when the sky is gray, the sky is not actually gray. Think about it. The clouds are creating a covering to the blue sky. The sky is always blue. Think about it. The sky is always blue. No matter what. No matter if there's a tornado, a hurricane, if it's raining, if it's cloudy, the sky is always blue. But there's always a covering, okay? And that covering, I believe, is our perspective that we choose on how life chooses to unfold in front of us. It's the perspective that we choose to define what our life means, to define these life circumstances, to define if this is a time where you're going to rise to the occasion or curl up in a ball, right? And no judgment, like that's all your life unfolding in front of you. That's your choice. It's your free will, right? So I think that we cling to our preferences sometimes, and this all goes with the art of surrender. We cling to our preferences that don't match our stuff and do match our stuff, right? We decide early on. Hey there, DJ B. We decide early on what we want to accept and what we don't want to accept. We like the good stuff. We want to keep the good stuff, but we want to push away the bad stuff. When really all of it is just one experience happening. All of it is the beauty of our lives. All of it is us having the ability to move through change. All of it is a culmination of life unfolding in front of us, of us deciding to overcome, of us deciding to choose a perspective that's going to serve us in our highest, for the highest good of all, right? So how can we be mad at life? How can we be mad at God? How can we be mad at the universe? How can we be mad at ourselves? We can't. I mean, we can, we choose to, but how can we be mad at our life or frustrated even? And don't get me wrong, I have my moments. I've been frustrated, I've been mad, I'm still mad. But it's like, how can we be mad, you know, at our life unfolding in front of us? When, if you think about it, every single experience is designed to take you higher. I mean, that's my personal belief. So, you know, I think a lot of us, and even myself early on, when I first started learning about the power of our mind, when I first started learning about how we can navigate our thoughts and the power of our thoughts, right? Right now I'm learning the power of our emotions and our thoughts intertwined and the difference between the two. But when I, early on, like about 8 years ago, when I first started learning about the power of the mind, I was like, oh, I can control my mind. Boom, I have tools. I can think about something bad and then automatically make myself feel good. I learned how to do that. I learned how to change my state and feel better and never really deal with the stuff that was underneath, right? So it comes out later. And here's what's missing there. Also, let me add, you know, when I first started learning the power of our thoughts, I realized I was like, I can create my own reality. I can write a goal down and manifest that goal. And that was my reality. I was manifesting things left and right. I still do. But you know what? I've manifested even more beautiful things ever since I learned the art of surrender. And that's just going to keep growing. So, you know, when I sort of realized that I have my own genie, right? I have my own genie. I have my own lamp that I can rub every single time and make things happen. Make things happen. I can make things happen, right? Which we all do. But hey, guess what? We cannot control our lives, okay? I could not have controlled that man running up to me with a gun. There's no way I could have controlled that moment in my life. But I responded, I reacted, right? Which I'm going to talk a little bit more tomorrow about our emotions and how to deal with really tough emotions, because I have been having tough emotions. So when I started creating all these things in my life, and, you know, I was realizing that I would say something and it would just happen, even recently, you know, and I realized that I was sort of being the puppet when really, like, I'm not the one in control. If this beautiful world was designed so intelligently, right? If everything in our world has been proven to be just a series of atoms and molecules bunched up together, right? This wall is just a bunch of molecules and atoms bunched up together, just like I am. And yes, I'm sacred and I'm beautiful, and like, being human is an amazing experience, and this human life is amazing. But we are just a culmination of atoms, right? And molecules happening all at the same time. Neurons, all of that sciencey stuff, which I'm so getting super nerdy about right now. And so what happened to me last week on Friday, it was just a series of, let's just look at it simply, you guys. It was just a series of atoms and molecules bunching up together. Now, I might jump around a little bit. Let me go back to my point from a moment ago, is that the highest path is surrender. The highest path is surrender. The highest path is letting go of control. Because, hey, guess what? We don't control shit. We don't not control our lives. We don't. And what happened last Friday was just so many eye-opening, awakening ideas, things that have happened inside of me that I'm so grateful for. And yes, I still have pain and sadness, but I have a really strong foundation, and these are the things I'm going to be sharing with you in the next few days. So I realized that the highest path is surrender. I realized that once I let go of my agenda, once I let go of me needing to control everything, right? I realized that life is just a lot lighter. And then you meet the right people. Somebody gives you a phone call. Somebody shows up for you, you know, or people don't show up for you. And that's in itself, you have to surrender to that moment, right? Like, my camera and my mic weren't working. I had to surrender to that moment. I had a moment where I was like, but then I remembered, Trisha, you're about to give the talk on the art of surrender. Like, let this go. It's supposed to start when it's supposed to start. And what I realized was that, you know, going back to this idea of this experience that happened, the experiences in your life that are happening, there's just a series of atoms and molecules happening, bunching up together. And sometimes it hits your stuff and you don't like it. Sometimes it hits your stuff and you do like it. But where do these preferences come from? These preferences come from how we've decided things need to be in order to make ourselves happy. We have decided what needs to happen in order for us to be happy or sad, and we cling to that. Hey, Michael, I see you live on Facebook. What's up? If you're feeling this, drop me a heart, drop me a comment. Let me know that you're feeling this, because this is real. This is just how I've decided to perceive my life, and it's given me a lot of peace because I don't have control. You don't have control either. And yes, we can do our best. We can make a plan. We can follow through on that plan. Following through on your plan is the highest art of self-love. It's the highest thing that you can do for yourself. And being committed to the action to see that plan through, okay? And surrendering to whatever that plan is supposed to do. Maybe your goal isn't actually supposed to be for the reason that you thought it was going to be, right? But if you decide early on, this is how it has to be for me to be happy, you're choosing to suffer. You're choosing suffering. Because if that doesn't happen, it didn't match your stuff, and you decided early on that that's what you needed in order to make yourself happy. You know, that's like me deciding that I never have to experience pain in my life. I never have to, and this is sometimes what we do. If I don't experience pain or trauma, I'm going to be happy. That's not real. That's not real life, okay? Get it together. That's not real life. Things happen. We get sad. We get mad. Things don't go our way, okay? Also consider this in regards to the art of surrender, is that this moment in front of me, Okay, I want you to look at the moment in front of you. This moment in front of me would still be there, even if I wasn't here. This moment in front of me would still be there, even if I wasn't here. What does that mean? That means that I play a part in this whole world coming together for the highest good of all. That means that I do not control the experiences that happen around me. I do not control the experiences that happen around me. Now, where does my power come from? My power, my empowerment, comes from surrendering to the life unfolding in front of me. My surrender comes from knowing that at the depths of my soul, at the depths of your soul, you are the most beautiful thing that's ever walked the face of the earth. Have you ever sat in stillness and just experienced your whole being? That's meditation. Meditation does that. Have you ever just sat with yourself and realized how beautiful this world you live inside really is? Surrender to that part of you that trusts that life is happening in front of you, that life is just unfolding in front of you. I think surrender is also about trust. It's about having faith in whatever you believe in. Surrender is about realizing that, yeah, you can make a plan, but what happens if that plan doesn't go as planned? I was planning for a run, and I wasn't able to finish that run. And I hardly even started it because a gun was pointed in my face. Am I gonna decide that that event in my life means that I have to suffer every day for the rest of my life? No. Why? The reason I have not choose suffering is because I've chose surrender. And I've also learned a lot of tools, which I'll be sharing tomorrow, about navigating through those emotions. Okay, so next, trusting the intelligence in this world. Trusting that, are you kidding me? Have you ever looked at a leaf? Have you ever paid attention to your human body and your mind and the power of your freaking mind? Hello? That is miraculous. Have you actually paid attention to this gift of life? And how the reason that you're growing is just natural. You don't have to do much to grow your body. It just grows. A baby just grows. A tree just grows. There's an amazing, graceful, loving intelligence that we are all surrounded by within and without us. And we have to trust that. We have to trust that we're going to continue to grow. We have to surrender to the moment unfolding in front of us. I'm going to leave in the art of surrender. I'm going to leave you with one simple act, and then we'll move on to seeing the opportunity in everything. Here's something you can do right now. Okay, I'm going to do it with you. Okay, surrender. What's the first step of surrender? Relax. Relax, relax, relax. The first step to surrender is relax. So let's do that together. Just even notice right now, like sit in a comfortable position. We're not going to meditate or anything, but I just want you to realize the power in surrender. So here's what we're going to do. Relax your shoulders just even more. Notice if like your breath is tight. Hi, Christine, I see you. Relax your chest. Notice if maybe your feet are tight, or notice if your hands can relax or feel heavy. And just relax into the moment. This is your life unfolding in front of you. This is a beautiful gift. And relaxing helps you anchor into the present moment, which we'll talk about at a future class. So I just wanted to give you that gift of relaxation. When you're in your car, when you're on the couch, just notice, okay, let me just bring attention to my body and relax. It's been a gift for me. Okay, moving on. Seeing the opportunity in everything. Okay, so this goes back to everything has a purpose. Everything in your life has a purpose. And if you think about it, I was going to jump to this point like thirdly, but going back to your whole life has led up to this moment. I want you to remember, I want you to think right now about a time where you overcame something, you had an adversity, you had to show up for yourself. I want you to think about a moment that comes to mind for you. I'm going to think about it too. A moment that maybe it made you better, but you didn't realize it in the moment. A moment that made you stronger mentally, emotionally, physically, but you didn't realize it in the moment. Think about that moment. Got it? Okay. In the moment that was happening, you were probably sad, mad, frustrated, depressed. It could be a series of things. You didn't realize, it probably took you a year, a couple months, 5 years, 10 years for you to realize the gift in that moment, for you to realize the opportunity for yourself in that moment. Because a lot of times, just like how I mentioned earlier, which if you're just now joining us, I talked earlier about the art of surrender and how the reality is that the sky is always blue. No matter if the clouds are gray or it's raining or there's a hurricane, the sky is always blue. It's just the clouds that are clouding that. It's our perception that is clouding our judgment. So if you can just give yourself the gift of searching for the opportunity in each moment before you have to suffer, okay? Before you have to suffer, pause and think about, how is this moment making you stronger? How is this moment building your resilience? How is this moment preparing you for life? How is this moment serving you? Think about that. Journal about it. Tell a friend. Have that conversation. Your conversations matter. This conversation matters, okay? Let's jump ahead and let's not force ourselves to wait 5 years later, 10 years later to see the opportunity and everything, and let's see it now. In the present moment, you have freedom. You have the freedom to choose your perception, your beliefs, okay? And guess what? A belief is just a thought that you keep on thinking. And that's good news because you can change your beliefs, because you can change the way that you think, okay? And if you can choose right now, you give yourself so much power and so much surrender. So let me tell you about how I'm choosing. Let me just give you an example of how I'm choosing to see the opportunity right now in my life of that tragedy that happened last Friday. Number one, I know in my heart of hearts, every single thing happens for a reason. That's my belief. All of it. Because if I reflect on my life, all the terrible things that don't match my stuff, all the terrible things have always made me stronger, always taught me something, at least I learned something from it. So let's not wait for that trajectory, and let's just start right now by reflecting on this present moment and what is it teaching you? What are you learning? What are you practicing? What is it forcing you to be? So I'll tell you how I'm choosing to see the opportunity in every moment. Number one, I am learning how to navigate my emotions like a freaking ninja, okay? Because yes, I have a really healthy level of peace of mind and clarity right now. I also have emotions. Like I posted earlier, I meditated before this at this little park up the street, and there were emotions that came out, but I was able to navigate those. And my therapist gave me some amazing tools on how to move through those emotions in a really healthy way. And so I'm using this as an opportunity because a couple months ago I decided I'm going to learn how to bring compassion to myself. I'm going to learn how to navigate my emotions in a healthy way, because emotions are always happening, okay? And a lot of times they overcome us. They overdo themselves. And I'm tired of letting my emotions decide for me, okay? I decide. So I'm taking the opportunity to really pause when I feel something, to really pause when I have flashbacks, because I still have flashbacks every day. They're not every single minute of the every day anymore, but they're there. And so I'm taking the opportunity to really learn from these experiences. Number 3, I'm seeing the opportunity in sharing my story so it can benefit others. Also, I'm taking the opportunity to really share my strengths with y'all and share like how I'm able to overcome this. And while I'm still in it, like I'm not talking to you 5 months, 6 months later. I'm talking to you right now as it's happening. I'm also taking this opportunity to really be with myself. I'm also taking this opportunity to love and honor the people who are in my circle of support, like loving them hard, even if I don't talk to them like every day. But they're reaching out. They're showing me love. They're showing me compassion. And I'm really taking the time to receive that and in my own mind, like love them in that way. I'm also choosing to see the opportunity in cleaning my apartment and organizing things, right? Organizing things in my world so I can be organized a little bit more in my mind. I'm taking the opportunity to really learn from that experience. Like when I get a flashback, I really pause and sort of dissect it and pause to see like what is there for me. Like why does this keep showing up? Because our mind is like a machine, right? It's going to keep popping things up until we actually decide to do something with it. And that's our choice. And so my opportunity right now is I'm choosing to really be with my experience, because here's the thing, is if this is the power of presence, which I'll talk about in a different class, but if you let the moment happen and you don't deal with it when it happens, then later you have to reflect on it. What if you just paused and we're with that emotion as it was happening? We're with that moment in your life as it was happening instead of wishing for it to be different. This is why people suffer. This is how I've suffered in the past, is because I've wished things were different. I've wished people were different. I've wished I was different. So instead of searching for perfection, instead of searching for completion, this is an email I sent out to my list the other day. Why don't we just choose to accept life as it comes? Why don't we just choose to accept life as it comes? Why don't we just choose to see it all as one big experience? And hey, guess what? It ain't personal. This life experience ain't personal. These people aren't doing things to you. Okay? There's people in my life that have not shown up for me. And I recognize that it's not, they're not personally doing that or not doing that to me. They have their own stuff. They're behaving that way because that's what they've learned to do. That's all they know. And so how can I take that personal? Yeah, I have moments I take that personal. But really when I sit and I'm present with that emotion of taking that personal, I'm like, actually, that doesn't make sense because everybody's in their own little world. I can't take that on. Because I have such a strong circle of support that the people that don't show up for me, I can have peace and resonance with that. Because that's how my life is unfolding in front of me, right? It's not personal. This moment in front of you would still be there even if you weren't here. Use your adversity as an opportunity. Learn to be in relationship with yourself, okay? If you're still watching, I want to invite you to our class tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm also going to put my website in the comments because I'm doing a special Women's Circle 3-day immersion on self-love and on how to really nurture this relationship with yourself, okay? These ideas, these teachings I'm going to do for the next today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, it's all one big umbrella on how to really nurture that relationship with yourself. So I am doing a 3-day immersion for women on going real deep into self-love, and it's only an hour and a half each day. So I want to invite you to that, and you can check that out with the link that I'm going to post. Peace to all, life to all, love to all. tag somebody who should see this video. Sending you lots of love. Mwah!